Hello and welcome to my podcast. My name is Nicole and I'm the brains and the beauty behind Yarn Craft by Nicole. And today on this yarn chat, I've got some fun things to show you and even more fun things that I am planning. The first thing I want to show off is the Love of Linen shawl. This is one of my patterns. I made it with one skein of summer silk from Wonderland yarns. And I really like it. It's a beginner-friendly pattern. It uses the linen stitch, which is one of my favorites. And this particular base, the summer silk, is listed as a fingering base, but it works more like a sport or a light DK. And it's perfect because today is crazy hot. At least for us here in New York, it feels crazy hot and just very humid. So something that is a silk that's very lightweight is perfect for a day like today. In fact, I'll take it off so I can show you the colors a little bit better because they're really pretty. I like this a lot. You can find this pattern on my website, yarncraftbynicole.com, or on Ravelry if you want to make your very own. I've also seen people make this, like I've made a version with fingering weight yarn, obviously that comes out a lot smaller, a true fingering, like a sock yarn. But I've also seen people do it with worsted weight, and it comes out really pretty that way too. Okay, where do I even want to start? I guess I'll start with finished objects. If you've been listening the past couple weeks, you know that I am getting ready for my first craft fair. It's actually a street fair with just a bunch of different vendors here in New Rochelle. I'm very excited about it. My husband and I did a trial run of the setup yesterday, which, bless him, he is wonderful, and he did like the canopy setup and the table setup. Didn't complain at all and was really helpful in trying to figure out how to make the tables themselves look a little less flat but still show off all of the amazing things. So he's great and I love him. The last thing that I was trying to make, or like the last new item that I was trying to make for the street fair, were mug rugs. And so my goal was to make 10, and I did, all with yarn that I already had, so scraps and other things. And I've made coasters before. I've made coaster sets before, but mug rugs with the fringe just took me so much longer than I anticipated. So I made 10, and it feels like I should have a finished sweater by this point by all of these. So I'm going to show them to you really quickly. I did a Instagram post where you can kind of see them all laid out. This one is one of my favorites. I really like the way that one came out. As is this one. You're going to see these colors again here in a little bit. I think that it's focusing up on this. I'm holding it in front of my face and I can't really tell. And all, there we go. Telling all these. This one is just so pretty and delicate. And it, as always with a scrappy project, it's fun to think of what you originally bought the yarn for and what other projects you've used it in. This one, I don't know, just feels like fall. Feels like very traditional rug. I love this one. This one feels like Christmas to me, or the holidays in general. Another one with kind of that traditional stripe pattern, and another really cozy one. So I really like the way these came out. I'm really glad they're done. The other thing about these that took so long is because most of these have wool in them, and I decided to wet block all of them. I generally wet block instead of steam block. Especially for something that is this small with Tunisian crochet. Tunisian crochet wants to curl on itself. And even in a thicker yarn, which does help. And like some of these stitch patterns, like the lattice stitch there, don't curl as much. To make sure that they were all the same size, I wet blocked all of them. And that just took a while to have all of those dry before I did all of the fringe. And again, the fringe just took a long time. But I'm really pleased with those. They look really good set up on the table. And then I guess I'll show you this one next. Today's Thursday. The fair is on Sunday. And I don't have to finish anything else. I really don't. I have a good amount of things to take. But we are also going to be in the car to go visit some friends at West Point, there and back over the next 2 days. So that's a lot of car crochet time. And there's a football game involved there too. I might crochet there. I don't know. I feel like I have more time than I do. So I have a couple of other projects that I'm going to start and then just see how close I get to finishing them. There's a gnome that I started yesterday that I'll finish today. Maybe one more. And then this scarf. And then we'll see what else. We'll see what else gets done. But for this one, my cable for the Tunisian got stuck in my drawer here. I had these 3 colors, and it might just look like 2, but there's actually 3. There's kind of like, there you go, you can really see it there. Kind of an orangey, a blue, and a maroon. I bought these for a class I took a long time ago. Not a long time ago, maybe a year and a half ago. And I hadn't used them yet. And I bought them because I thought they would look very Southwest and interesting together. And I still do. I really like the way that this is coming out. And so I've got one skein of each. They're all Berroco Ultra Wool, which I had not used before. It's a worsted weight. It's 100% superwash wool. So I started this sometime this week. I don't know. We'll see how big it gets. I'm just going until I run out of the yarn. But this little like fade between the colors and just the way that they're interacting is another example of when I'm just playing with yarn. That is when I get ideas for new patterns. So what I'm thinking is I have this beautiful bouquet of yarn that's usually sitting right here in a vase looking like a bouquet of yarn, and I bought it not knowing what it wanted to be, but really liked the colors. This is a blue Sky Fibers bundle set. I've bought a bundle set from them before and they're just really cute, and it is worsted weight yarn. They're all mini hanks, 5 grams, 12 yards. So I'm thinking I want to do the same kind of thing that I'm doing on that scarf with colors that are very different and kind of like showing off those transitions with this and keeping it very random, like just grabbing one, then grabbing another without too much thought. I'm not convinced yet that 5 grams is going to be enough to follow the same kind of pattern that I'm doing there, but I don't know. I think it would be really pretty. I like that idea of it, so you might see that coming from me soon. I'm thinking with that, that'll probably be a paid for pattern, or it'll go up on my blog. I've got a couple of other things I'm going to show you that for sure will be on the blog. But I haven't decided if this one is going to be a paid for pattern or if it's just going to be free on the blog. So I really like where that could lead. I'm excited about that because I think that would make a really pretty cowl, and it would be a great stash busting project too, because 5 grams, it's not a whole lot of yarn to find if you make a lot of things. Most of us have 5 grams of something around us. And then the other thing that I was working on was I think that it's a project test, and I think it's just being called the Granny Square Cowl for now, but that's a temporary name. It's from Sass and Stitch, and I showed it to you last week. It hasn't gotten much more progress, but it has gotten some. Come on, you know you want to focus. There you go. And I will tell you that in the sun, you can really see the variations on the background color a lot better. There's a lot of very subtle purples and blues in there, which I like a lot. I took this with me when we went to the US Open last weekend. I took this project and then I thought I would work on more of the alphabet squares for baby girl's blanket. I didn't even start an alphabet square. I honestly didn't crochet much during the weekend at all. I didn't take any yarn in with me to the stadium. Honestly, it was very hot and we were pretty high up, and I'm afraid of heights anyway, so I don't know that that would have worked. We were just busy, so we didn't have a lot of downtime, but I did get some more work on this. I'm really enjoying this process. I like this a lot. And this is from Sass and Stitch, and it is a pattern test. I did work more on a secret pattern test, but of course I can't show you that yet, but it is gorgeous. And it's a pattern that's pretty meditative, and it was good for TV crocheting when we were not busy, when we were not in the city, we were just hanging out here. Okay, so those are all the things that I've worked on. Feels like there should be more things to show you, but that's all I can show you right now. I had a massage. What day was that? Tuesday? And it, excuse me, the spa where I got the massage was very close to where the Joann's is, so I went ahead and did some yarn chopping there. I knew that I wanted to get yarn for best friends blankets that I'm making for me and my best friend, since we're both having girls this year. And you've seen these two colors before because I bought it for a gnome that I'm going to make for her, because these are the colors that she's using in her girls' room. And then I talked to her and I was like, do you want to know what the blanket looks like, or do you want to be surprised? And we kind of landed on kind of wanting to know. So we decided to do 2 blankets that match, that use the 3 colors that we're kind of doing in our girls' room. So my little girl will have a lot of like lavender and light blue. Her girl's is gonna have a lot of lavender and mint. So I'm gonna do 2 blankets that use all 3 colors. I'm probably gonna do the tricolor linen stitch. I've done a shawl with that here on YouTube, and TL Yarn Crafts has a great YouTube tutorial for how to do it. And I think she might even have a baby blanket, so I'll look that up. Either way, it's gonna be a pretty simple blanket and then just have a border off of that. These are all 100% acrylic. They're Heartland from Lion Brand yarn. It's very soft. It's like mildly heathered. They're gonna be very cute together. I like it a lot. So I got the yarn. I think I got all the yarn I will need for those 2 blankets. We'll see. If not, then I can always go back. And then the other yarn I got was for other projects after the street fair that I will be working on developing. So the first one is a new blanket for Scoot. Scoot, our wonderful dog who is 10, is convinced that everything that I make is for him. And with all the baby stuff that's come in, he just needs a little extra love. And the blanket that I made for him when I first took him home 6 years ago, it could use an update. So he looks great in red. So I got a pound of love, and I'm gonna do some sort of a pet blanket pattern with a paw motif. I haven't quite decided what that will look like. I've got a couple of different ideas, but my plan is to just have it use 1 pound of love. I mean, this has a ton of yardage. It's 100% acrylic. It's worsted weight yarn. Yeah, it's got 1,020 meters, or I'm sorry, 1,020 yards. And I think that will be enough to make a good pet size blanket for him. Granted, he thinks the giant temperature blanket that I made is also for him, but this can just go in his bed. And I don't know, I think he will enjoy it. So that's coming up soon. Don't have a date for that per se, but that one, I imagine it's between this one and the scrappy one, which one I want to do on the blog for free and which one I want to have it as a paid for pattern. But one of these two will be on the blog for free and one will be a paid for pattern. The other one that I know will be free on the blog is going to be using these two. I wish you could squish these because they are very delightful. See if I can get the label there for you. So these are both Big Twist yarns. They are 100% polyester, I believe. And they're very, very soft. Feels like a teddy bear. They're bulky weight yarns. And these are going to become a houndstooth or like a Tunisian two-tone scarf. I have a Tunisian two-tone cowl that is already up here on YouTube, and it's a great make. It's a simple make, but I wanted to do a scarf. One, because it would be a little cozier for the winter and also be a little bit more unisex. Not that anybody can't wear a cowl, but I've made a couple of Tunisian two-tone scarves last year for Christmas, and I really liked them, and a couple people have asked me about them on Instagram, so I figured I can go ahead and just do a pattern with that. I really like these colors together. They had some really good ones. I think they had a teal that I almost went with, but I don't know, something about this yellow felt right. And I have not used this yarn before. This is called Mustard, and this is called Taupe. So very, very fun yarns. And these, even though they're in bulky skeins, they're in pretty big skeins, and each one I think has 219 yards. So I think I can do the whole scarf for this. We will see. One of the things that Big Twist does on the back of their labels that I really like, see if you can see that, is they kind of give you a guesstimate of how much or how many skeins you would need for a project. So this says that for a blanket you would need 7, for a hat you would need 1, for a scarf you would need 2, for an adult sweater you would need 5. Obviously that is very size dependent, but I really like this. So I think 2 will be enough for a scarf, but we'll see. I also do want to make it a bit wide, but that will probably be the one that I do first. 1, because it'll be great for fall, and 2, I already know how to do it because I've already done several of those. So that is, I think, everything that I have to show you this week. I did order Happy Place yarn from Tony, well, from Hobie. She did a collab with Hobie Yarns. I've never ordered from them before, excuse me, but I'm really excited about these. And I think that they will get in before the next podcast. So hopefully I'll be able to show you those, but I already know what I'm going to do with those colors too. Very excited about it. So I've got some fun projects in the works once I'm done with all of the craft fair stuff. I just have to get through Sunday. I just have to get through Sunday. And honestly, since this is my first craft fair, I was talking with my husband about it, and I'm going into this with, I don't know, kind of simple expectations. I don't want to say low expectations, but this is my first one. I'm going into this as a learning experience. I'm being as prepared as I think it makes sense to be. This is a new place for us. This is a new market for me. I'm just excited to see how everything comes out. But yes, I might do a separate video too of just like the craft fair in general, because I think that would be helpful. And with that, I'm going to leave you with what I can't let go. And this week it's the heat. We had dinner with my husband's aunt and uncle who live in the city one night, and they were saying that in New York City, and we're like just outside of the city, that they didn't have a single day that was 90 or above in August. Well, I think that New York has remembered that, and this week has been very, very hot. And As someone from the South, I never expect the heat to hit me as much as it does, but maybe it's because we were in Michigan the last 2 years and we were in Tennessee before, that like the hot, sticky humidity that is here right now, over it. I want fall. I miss fall. Looking forward to New York fall. And yeah, I'm ready for the heat to leave. So that is what I can't let go of. I hope that it does leave soon. I think it's supposed to cool off starting this weekend, but we will see. And with that, I will leave you until next week. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. And if you have any last minute advice for me for craft fairs, leave it for me down in the comments below. I'll see you next time. Bye guys.